Hey everybody, Tim here for movie number 5 of the MCU Phase 1, Captain America, 2011. So, we're almost done. We are up to Captain America, the First Avenger, which realistically speaking, he wouldn't be. Thor would be, because Thor was around like years before Captain America was, but it is what it is. Overall, it's a great movie. It's fantastic. It's directed by the same guy who does Jumanji, the first Jumanji movie ever. And there are certain scenes where you can really tell, like specifically right after, like Steve becomes Captain America and he's running through the street barefoot and everything. I like watch that scene again. I promise you, watch it again and then think of Jumanji. The lighting, the way the camera moves, you're like, holy shit, you're right. I promise you, I am. So, my first memory of this movie, because like I've said, this movie is 10 years old by this point, and so this is less of a review and more of a look back. My first memory of this movie is actually before this movie came out. I don't even know if Thor was out yet, because they had done the trailer, and I was in college at the time, and my teacher was Brian Bendis, the creator of the Ultimate Universe. He was my college professor at the time. And we were in class and we were talking about like whatever the fuck we were talking about, script writing or something. And he was like, so by the way, just so you guys know, class we only had class on Fridays. It was a one day a week class. And he was like, but it was like a 4-hour class. And he was like, just so you guys know, class next week is going to be canceled. And we were like, what? Like, we meet one day a week? Why are you canceling it? And Bendis was like, I'm sorry, I have to fly down to Hollywood because they have the first finished cut of Captain America. And I have to go down and I've been invited to go see it. And we were like, what? What? And I remember one of the girls in the class was like, will you tell us how good Chris Evans looks without a shirt on? I mean, we'd seen this trailer and everything where like he first reveals himself. But like that's my earliest memory of this movie is not the trailer or anything, but being in class with Brian Bendis and him being like, I'm sorry, I have to cancel class because I have to go see this movie. And I mean, you can watch the credits. All of these like early Phase 1 movies, Bendis' name is in the credits and everything. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was just interesting. And at the time, I took it for granted. It is one of those, like, I brag about it now in hindsight. But at the time, like, I was like, okay, who the fuck cares? Like, I just want to get a passing grade. And so it's kind of fun. So anyways, the movie itself is really well done. I really enjoy it. So many, like, this whole movie is just set up for future things, like seeing James Barnes, aka Bucky, seeing the new Howard Stark, played by Dominic Cooper, which I always thought was kind of weird, because we just saw him portrayed by a different actor in Iron Man 2, but now it's Dominic Cooper. Stanley Tucci steals every scene he's in. I love Stanley Tucci. Like, everything, all the way back to, like, A Midsummer's Night's Dream. But he steals every scene he's in, especially the drinking scene where he's like, no, you can't have fluids. You're about to have surgery. These schnapps are mine. Tommy Lee Jones is fantastic. Really well done. Probably my favorite Tommy Lee Jones scene is where he throws a grenade and Steve jumps on it and he's like, he's still skinny. Love that. The Stan Lee cameo's okay. I mean, every scene with Stan Lee is pretty good. But like the whole, like, I thought he'd be taller. I was like, okay. This movie also has Haley Atwell, who I've had the privilege of meeting at a comic book convention at one point, which she's a beautiful lady. She's so nice. She's so sweet. So it was kind of nice. So we get that. The Hugo Weaving, I love. The first Hugo Weaving movie, I mean, most people would probably say The Matrix. It's also probably Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So to go from that to this, it's fantastic. It's really nice. The first mention of vibranium, which is the Captain America shield, is super important. overall, I mean, the movie's just so much fun. It's so enjoyable. It's a great, like, just sit back, enjoy it. You'll have a good time. I also remember, like I said, so Bendis was the moment I remember this movie the most. I also, the second most important part of this movie I remember is seeing it in theater. And absolutely, I saw it by myself. I go to the movie theater by myself all the time. Some people think it's weird, but you know what? Sometimes people just don't want to go with you. And I saw it by myself, and I was sitting there, and I was like, this is great. By this point, we'd already had Iron Man, the Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor. Everybody was like, stay after the credits because it's going to be important. 4 movies, like we already knew. And so we were sitting there, and first you see like Captain America like punching the boxing bag, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then the first trailer for the Avengers dropped, and I remember screaming. I remember everybody else in the theater screaming. Like it was such a great moment. It was just such a good atmosphere. It was so happy. It was so much fun. And that's the moment where you're like, you know what? This is a good time to be a nerd. Because being a kid, like everybody like shaming you for reading comic books and stuff like that, and you're like, oh fuck. And now, like, here you are in a theater, everybody's screaming because of a trailer. You're like, this is a good time to be alive. And who knew? Like, here we are 10 years later, and Marvel's still bringing it. Like, it's fantastic. So I'm super happy. I'm super glad to be alive for all this. And I'm just having fun. So for those who saw Captain America, what do you guys think? I mean, like I said, most people like have seen it. It's 10 years old by this point. But who remembers actually seeing it the first time in theaters? What do you guys all think about it? Go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you guys next time for The Avengers.